Regular expressions called REs or regexes or regex patterns are essentially a tiny, highly specialized programming language embedded inside Python. String matching is one of the most common tasks in programming, and with regular expressions in Python, you can make string and pattern matching a breeze. Though many programmers find regex in Python a little confusing. But don't worry, we've crafted this video with very easy explanations and great examples so that you'll quickly develop expertise with them. In fact, after this video, you'll find regexes almost indispensable in your Python programming. I'm Aditi from Data's Good, and I thank you all for joining us today. Before we begin, make sure you have subscribed to our channel and also don't forget to hit the bell icon to stay updated with all the latest videos coming from Data's Good YouTube channel. So now it's time to get started. Here's the agenda for this video. We'll first begin with understanding what regular expressions are and use the Python ReModule to work with regex. Why do we use regular expressions? And after that, we learn about Python Regex function. We will also learn about meta characters and special sequences. We will also have a couple of assignments for you so that you can also practice regular expressions on your own. So without any further ado, let's get started. A regular expression, regex, is a sequence of characters that defines a search pattern. Regex can be used to check if a string contains a specified search pattern or not. Python has a built-in package called re, which can be used to work with regular expressions. Regular expressions are useful in any scenario that benefits from full or partial pattern matches on strings. These are some common use cases. Verify the structure of strings. Extract substrings from structured strings. Search, replace, or rearrange parts of the string. Split a string into tokens. All of these come up regularly when doing data preparation work. And now, let's begin with the Python Regex functions. The ReModule offers a set of functions that allow us to search a string for a match. We are going to learn about 4 functions as of now: find all, search, split, sub. We will look at the examples of all these functions one by one. So quickly open a new Jupyter notebook. After opening the Jupyter notebook, we will rename it as Python Regex. So before starting with any of the 4 functions, we'll import the ReModule in this Jupyter notebook. Type import re in a new coding cell and press Shift and Enter to execute it. And the cell got executed successfully. That means the ReModule is imported. Great. Now moving ahead. Let's first learn about find all function. The find all function returns a list of all the matches. Let's understand it by taking a very simple example. Let's say we have a string which has the value, hello, I am B6 from Howdy 9, and we want to look for a particular pattern in this string. Let's say we want to match numbers in the string. So for that, regex has a special sequence, Backlash Small D. This special sequence returns a match where the strings contain digits 0 to 9. We will read more about special sequences later in the video. So we will use the find all function and pass on 2 parameters inside the parentheses. First one is a pattern, which we want to search for in the string, and the second parameter is the string itself. This will return a list containing all the matches. So let's press Shift and Enter to execute the cell. And here we get a list containing 6 and 9. As there are only 2 numbers in the string, so both are returned in the form of a list. So this is how the find all function works. This will return all the matches in the output. Then the next regex function is the search function. The search function returns a match object if there is a match anywhere in the string. Let's understand the search function more by taking the same example. We will consider the same string and the same pattern to be matched. But this time, we'll use the search function. We pass on the two parameters inside the parenthesis. Make sure the arguments passed are in the right order. First parameter should be the pattern and the second parameter should be the string. Now press Shift and Enter to execute. And here we get a match object. This results in the position at which the match is found. Great! Now comes the next function called split function. The split function returns a list where the string has been splitted at each match. Let's take the same example in this case as well. We will consider the same string and the same pattern and pass these two inside the split function. Now press Shift and Enter and we get the output. We can see that the string is splitted and returned as a list. So there are three elements in the string. The string is splitted at two characters. One is 6 and the other is 9. Brilliant! Now let's move on to the last Python regex function. That is sub function. The sub function replaces one or many matches with a string. Let's again take the same example and understand the sub function better. We will pass on the same pattern and the same string inside the parenthesis of the sub function. But this time, there will be an extra parameter. So the first parameter is the pattern, which we want should be replaced. The second parameter is the character by which we want the pattern to get replaced. And the third parameter is the string itself, in which we want to look for the pattern and replace it. Here we are replacing numbers with white space characters. Press Shift and Enter to execute the cell. And here we get the output. Now all the numbers in the string are replaced with the white space characters in the string. Great! I hope all the 4 Python regex functions are clear to you now. If you have any questions regarding them, then you can always ask us in the comment section. We'll try to solve all your queries as soon as possible. Now, let's move on to the Python meta characters. Meta characters are characters with a special meaning. We will learn about each of the meta characters one by one with examples. So the first meta character is square brackets. Square brackets represent a set of characters which we wish to match. Let's take a very simple example. We define a string AC. So this string S has 2 characters, A and C. And we have specified a pattern in the search function using the square brackets. This means we are trying to match any of the 3 characters A, B or C in the string S. Now let's press Shift and Enter to execute the cell. And we got a match. The next meta character is period. A period matches any single character except new line. We use the string hello world. The 2 periods between E and O means it'll check for 2 characters between them except the new line in the string S. Now press Shift and Enter to execute the cell. And we get a match, hello, in the string. Then the next meta character is caret. The caret symbol is used to check if a string starts with a certain character. Let's take an example. We consider the same string S and we check whether the string S starts with hello or not? We used the caret symbol before the hello word. Now press Shift and Enter to run the cell. And we got the match. Here the span 0, 5 means that the match starts with the 0th index and ends with the 5th index. Now the next meta character is $. The dollar symbol is used to check if a string ends with a certain character or not. Let's consider the same example. In this, we want to check whether the string ends with world or not. Shift and Enter. And there is a match. The match is found from the 6th index to the 11th index. Great. Now, next meta character is star. The star symbol matches 0 or more occurrences of the pattern left to it. Let's take an example. We take two strings, man and woman, and the search pattern is M-A star. This will look for the 0 or more occurrences after M-A. There is one occurrence, N, in the man string, and also one occurrence in N, the woman string. Let's press Shift and Enter to check the answer. And we get the matches for both the strings. In the first string, man, the match starts from 0th index to 2nd index. In the second string, woman, the match starts from 2nd index to 4th index. Now the next meta character is plus. The plus symbol matches one or more occurrences of the pattern left to it. Let's take the same example. We consider the same previous two strings. This time, we are searching the pattern M-A-N-E plus in the man string and searching the pattern M-A plus in the woman string. Execute the cell. And here we get a match for the second string, but got no match for the first string. See? Now the next meta character is braces. The braces symbol N-M means at least N and at most M repetitions of the pattern left to it. Let's understand it better with an example. We take two strings. One is ABC and another is A-A-A-A-A-B. The second string has 5 A's in it. In the first string, we want to match for 2 A's. In the second string, we want to match at least 2 A's and at most 4 A's. Run the cell and check the answer. We get no match for the first string because the string has only a single A in it and we were looking for 2. While we get a match for the second string, but notice we get a match only for first 4 A's because we mentioned using the braces that we want to look for at least 2 A's and at most 4 A's in the string. Now let's learn about special sequences. A special sequence is followed by a backslash, which has some special meaning. Let's learn about the special sequences one by one. So the first special sequence is Backlash Capital A. This returns a match if the specified characters are at the beginning of the string. Let's take an example to understand this better. We take the string I love watching movies and search for the character I and check whether the string starts with this character or not. Run the cell and check the answer. And we get a match in the string. Great! Now the next special sequence is Backlash Small B. This returns a match where the specified characters are at the beginning or at the end of a word. Let's consider the same example. In this, we are searching for \bi and checking whether the character I is at the beginning or at the end of the string. Here the R at the beginning is making sure that the string is being treated as a raw string. So let's check the answer. And we get a match. The character I is present at the beginning of the string. Therefore, we get a match for this string. The next special sequence is Backlash Capital B. This returns a match where the specified characters are present, but not at the beginning or end of the string. Let's understand this more by taking an example. We will consider the same example. This time we are searching for S either at the beginning or at the end of the string. Run the cell and check the answer. And we didn't get any matches. This is because we specified capital S in the pattern, but there is a small s in the string. So capital S is present neither at the beginning nor at the end of the string. Now the next special sequence, Backlash Capital D. This returns a match where the string does not contain digits. So let's consider the same example. We consider the same string, I love watching movies, and check for the digits in the string. Run the cell to check the answer. And we get a match. Now the next special sequence, Backlash Small D. This returns a match where the string contains digits, that is numbers 0 to 9. So let's consider the same example. We consider the same string, I love watching movies, and check for the digits in the string. Run the cell to check the answer. And we didn't get any match because there are no digits in the string. Great, interesting. Now we've learned about Python regular expressions. Let's look at one of the use cases. Python regular expressions are used for email verification. It's usually the best way to validate email addresses. Let's see the regex pattern to do so. An email address should include the recipient name. It can contain any lowercase letters, uppercase letters, numbers, symbols. But this cannot start or end with a special character. At symbol, domain name. The domain name is a string of letters and digits that defines a space on the internet owned and controlled by a specific mailbox provider or organization. Top-level domain. Top-level domains are the highest level of the domain name system for the internet and are placed after the domain name in an email address. Common top-level domains are .com, .net, .org. So now let's create a regex pattern for this. We will take the input from the user. We do so by using the input function. And as we can notice, we have also passed a message inside the input function for the user and then searched for the mentioned pattern in the string. We mention the square brackets and the first character can contain anything, lowercase, uppercase, or numbers. The caret sign signifies it. After that, in the recipient name, we can have any character. So we mention all the characters inside the square brackets and use the plus meta character for their occurrence one or more times. And then we again take care that the last character of the recipient name should not be a special character. And then we specify the @ symbol. And then the email will have the domain name. The domain name can contain lowercase, uppercase, numbers. So we make use of the \small w special sequence, which returns a match for any character in the string, be it lowercase, uppercase, or numbers. Notice we mentioned braces as well. The lowest occurrence should be 2, and the maximum can be anything. And then the dot symbol in the email address. And at last, the top-level domain name. It is usually between 2 to 3 digits and end with a dollar sign to make sure that it will be the last character in the string. If there is a match, the output would be valid address. And if there is no match, then the output will be invalid address. Let's run the cell. And the Python is asking us the user to type an email address. So let's type one. After typing the email address, press enter. And it is a valid address. Let's type another one. Again, run the cell. And this time start the email address with a special character. After typing the email, again press enter. And this time it says invalid address. This is because the email address is starting with a special character which is incorrect. Try with some more email addresses and check whether it gives the correct result or not. So I hope you're now well aware of the regular expressions in Python. We learned about meta characters, special sequences, and regex functions. In case you have any doubts, you can always ask us in the comment section. We'll try to solve your queries as soon as possible. So stay tuned, stay motivated. Goodbye.